Hello, you're watching TVP World News. I'm Jonasz Rewiński. Poland's security and the future of Central European cooperation dominated Thursday's televised Czech parliamentary election debate as candidates sparred over Russia, NATO and the Visegrad Four. Foreign Minister Jan Lipavsky of the ruling Spolu bloc said Poland has every right to shoot down Russian aircraft and called sanctions on Moscow effective, though slow. Jana Urbanova, representing the Mayors and Independent Party STAN, backed arming Ukraine, while the Pirates Party candidate Jan Wotapek demanded both supplying heavier weapons and imposing crippling sanctions. Radek Wądraczek, representing the opposition ANO party, urged consistency, doubting sanctions could end the war but defending NATO's firm line. The debate then turned to the Visegrad Four. Lipavsky called the grouping, and I quote, dead, given rifts between Poland and Hungary, while Wądraczek called for restoring ties, and Petr Turek from the right-wing Motorists Party insisted the V4 remains vital, noting Slovakia's aid to Ukraine. Parliamentary elections will take place on the 3rd and 4th of October, with these final campaign days being crucial ahead of the vote. The opposition ANO party is still leading the polls. US President Donald Trump said Ukraine has a shot at regaining territory, criticizing Russia's war effort as wasteful, brutal and damaging to Moscow's reputation. Trump also argued that if it were America's war, it would have been over in 1 week.
Yeah, they have a shot at it because Russia.
What prompted you to change your thoughts on that?
Well, because I've been watching the way what Russia's been doing. I'm very dissatisfied with what Russia's doing and what President Putin is doing. I haven't liked it at all. He's killing people for no reason whatsoever, and they are doing very poorly considering they have put it all out on the line. Their economy is going to hell. They're bombing the hell out of everything, and they're picking up a very little territory, if any. In fact, they're losing some territory. So I think it's been very bad for the reputation of Russia. This war should have been over. If this were our war, we would have had it over in 1 week.
Speaking at the UN General Assembly, European Council President António Costa condemned Russia's continued assault on Ukraine as a blatant violation of the UN Charter and a threat to every nation's sovereignty. He pledged that Europe would keep up the pressure on Moscow while pushing for an immediate ceasefire and a just, lasting peace.
In Ukraine, a sovereign nation was brutally attacked by a permanent member of the Security Council, in clear violation of the United Nations Charter, a clear violation of sovereignty, territorial integrity, the respect of internationally recognized borders, and the right to choose its own destiny. This aggression threatens not only Ukraine, it threatens every nation in this assembly. If we accept Russia's invasion of Ukraine, no country will ever be safe. We will continue to apply pressure on Russia to end this war. We call for meaningful negotiations and an immediate ceasefire and a just and lasting peace.
Volkswagen is shutting down production lines at 2 of its German factories that specialize in electric vehicles, according to media reports. The decision comes on the back of lower than expected demand for the company's EVs and amidst ongoing layoffs. The affected sites are the carmaker's factory in Zwickau, near the Czech border, which produces Audi's Q4 electric SUV, and Emden, near the Netherlands, which makes the brand's own EVs called ID.4 and ID.7. In August, Volkswagen was the best-selling EV maker in Europe, with sales 45% higher than the year prior. However, the demand is not matching production capabilities, hence the need for pauses. Volkswagen is in the midst of slashing this excess capacity, and the company plans to let go of 35,000 people by the end of the decade. However, layoffs will not affect the Zwickau and the Emden sites. In Moldova, oligarch Vlad Plahotniuc has been extradited just days before the country's parliamentary elections. Once Moldova's most powerful figure, he now faces charges tied to the so-called theft of the century. The 59-year-old former MP was arrested in Athens in July while boarding a flight to Dubai after Interpol flagged him for holding 16 passports. He is accused of being involved in a 2013 billion-dollar fraud that drained 12% of Moldova's GDP. Plahotniuc denies the allegations, but he remains under US and UK sanctions for corruption and attempts to sway elections. Moldovan authorities say he played a role in recent Russian efforts to destabilize the country. His return comes as the pro-European ruling PAS party faces a tough election battle against pro-Russian rivals. Hungary is facing a major political crisis following revelations of a child sex abuse scandal allegedly covered up for years by Prime Minister Viktor Orban's government. The scandal has shaken public opinion, damaging the ruling Fidesz party's approval ratings and raising serious questions about the future of Orban's administration. The Prime Minister himself said no member of the government was involved in the scandal.
Every member of the government is innocent. Not a single minister's honor is in question. They can't be linked to such crimes. If someone still makes those accusations, they have to face the consequences. Several government politicians said this week that they will take serious legal action, and a lot of people said that sounds like a threat. But legal consequences are an old concept derived from Roman law. Everyone knows there is a legal system and how it works. In this case, the offenders, who actually include some opposition politicians, knew exactly what they were doing. Meaning, if you accuse someone of being a pedophile without evidence, you can expect punishment.
Hungary and Slovakia's refusal to cut ties with Russian oil suppliers is due to lack of political will, says energy analyst Daniel Czyżewski. The expert explained reducing gas dependency on Russia can be done using the Czech Republic as an example.
In April this year, the Prime Minister of Czech Republic announced that Czech Republic is no longer dependent on Russia. It's no longer dependent on Russian oil. It can buy more from other directions. Czech Republic 3 years ago was in the same situation like Hungary and Slovakia. If there was any political will in Budapest and Bratislava then, and investment came after that, both countries would be independent as well from Russian oil. But there was no political will. The ties between Russia and those countries really tightened from then than loosened in any way. So I think it's a matter of political will.
2 unidentified drones were spotted overnight above Karlskrona in southern Sweden, home to the country's main naval base. Police have launched an investigation into a suspected violation of aviation laws. Local police confirmed the drones were large models, similar to those seen in recent days over Denmark. Witnesses described the aircraft flashing red and green lights. The incident is under investigation for illegal drone activity. Karlskrona, located on islands in the Baltic Sea, hosts Sweden's main naval base, as well as defense industry firms specializing in submarines and maritime technologies. In recent days, large drones of unknown origin have also been reported over several Danish airports and a military airbase, temporarily disrupting air traffic. Earlier this week, flights were halted in Copenhagen and Oslo, where Norwegian police arrested a foreign national accused of operating a drone near the capital's international airport. Spain has sent a naval ship to join Italy in monitoring a civilian flotilla heading for Gaza, where activists are attempting to challenge Israel's naval blockade. In the early hours of Friday, Spain's Navy vessel Furor departed Cartagena harbour. It will assist Italy in following the global Sumund flotilla, a civilian-led initiative using around 50 small boats to deliver aid to Gaza. Volunteers of the flotilla include lawyers, members of parliament and activists, among them Swedish campaigner Greta Thunberg. Italy already dispatched a frigate on Wednesday, shortly after the flotilla reported being attacked by drones, but reportedly dropped stun grenades and itching powder off the Greek island of Gavdos. The incident caused minor damage, but no injuries. Similar activist flotillas in the past were intercepted by Israeli forces, sometimes with the use of force. This latest mission is expected to once again test the limits of Israel's blockade. Twelve records have been shattered on the third day of the 35th AIDA Freediving World Championship. 52 female divers from 35 countries delivered remarkable performances, smashing multiple national and continental top scores.
Ukraine's Kateryna Sadurska emerged from the deep Mediterranean waters victorious, after diving 97 meters down, setting Kyiv's new national record. A U.S. representative set a new continental record for the Americas, reaching 96 meters down. The competition held off the coast of Cyprus proved to be the free diving event of the season, as the national records of 12 countries were smashed, highlighting just how rapidly the sport is growing. Freediving contestants dive underwater relying solely on their breath-holding skills, rather than scuba equipment.
And that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and please stay with us here on TVP World.